Hi everybody, it's Tim with Engadget and welcome to the HP TouchPad, the first WebOS 3.0 tablet from Hewlett-Packard. And it's definitely a device that we've been looking forward to getting our hands on for quite some time now. So we were very eager, of course, to get on with the review itself. And let's start with a tour of the hardware. Up front we have a 9.7-inch 1024 by 768 LCD display. We also have a 1 megapixel webcam up front. And if we flip it over, you'll actually see there is nothing around the back. No rear-facing webcam on this tablet. And we, of course, have had a little bit of fun with people taking pictures on their tablets before, but still it's nice to be able to do that, and you can't actually take any pictures on this tablet. There is no app for taking pictures on the front-facing camera either, though you can Skype. So we'll take a look at this side. Here we have two speakers, which maybe you can see they are cut in the side. These are the Beats speakers that we've heard HP make a big deal about in the past. They do actually sound pretty good, but the way that they're recessed into the housing actually makes the tablet a little bit uncomfortable to hold. When you hold it like this, it kind of digs into your palm a little bit, and well, it's not going to make you bleed, but it's not too comfortable either. We have a micro USB port up, well, down on the bottom, I should say. A volume rocker on the right side. Up top, this is the power button, and then over here is a 3.5mm headphone jack. And on the front, down on the bottom here, we actually have a physical home button. So you tap that, and the screen comes to life. Now to unlock things, you grab that and drag it off to the side, and you are now in WebOS 3.0. And this is a very familiar experience for anybody who's used WebOS before, and of course multitasking is easy, and switching between apps is easy, and bringing up and closing apps is pretty easy too. Let's go ahead and dive into the web browser here, and we'll take a look at some performance. Bring up our web page. And the page is still loading, but we can scroll through and begin to see the content, despite the missing images. There is, as you can see, a bounce when you get to the edges of the content, so that's a little bit Apple-like, and definitely a nice feature. You can pinch to zoom, quite responsive. Overall, a good browsing experience. The browser does default to load the full desktop versions of web pages, which is good for the most part. However, we do wish that it would have loaded the iPad or the version of Gmail that some mobile devices like the iPad and the Playbook get. Unfortunately, this actually brings up the full fat Gmail experience, which is not exactly tab-friendly. Now to get back to the home page, you can either click on the home button here, or you can swipe up from the bottom, which will minimize that. And if we're in here, if you open a new tab, actually opens up in a new card like this. So then you can go to Google, let's say, and that brings up quickly, of course, and then when you swipe up you can now see there are two cards. If you want to close a tab, you just swipe it up like that, or if you close the browser entirely, it's gone. It's a very intuitive and very satisfying actually way to swipe between applications, and something that we'd like to see more apps take advantage of. Now, we mentioned that the Gmail version on the web is somewhat less than optimized for a tablet. This is the integrated email application that the TouchPad comes from. As you can see, it uses these overlapping cards here, and if you create a new application, it opens up a new card as well. So this was as if I were going to reply to that, but changed my mind, so let's get rid of that. Now you can click here and swipe across, so this gives me a full view of this email, which is congratulations from the Video Game Voters Network, or you can get a view of all the emails within the current folder with a larger view of the email itself on the right, or you can expand this and see all of the folders that I have in my Gmail account. Now this is syncing to my Gmail account, and it is pretty easy to use, but it doesn't have all of the same functionality that Gmail offers. It doesn't give you multiple flags to use, and it is a nice email experience, but again, it's not as good as the Gmail experience on other mobile devices. Take a look at the Calendar app. This is again built into the TouchPad, so already we're ahead of the Playbook in terms of what you can do on the device. Pretty simple, standard interface for creating events. Nothing too exciting there. Let's take a look at some of the other applications. Amazon Kindle is actually not pre-installed. The icon comes installed, but you have to download and install the application itself. And a fairly standard traditional interface at the Kindle app. We can go into a book that I read not too long ago here. And you can see it wants to sync my position online. You can go from page to page. Pretty easy. Nothing too shocking here. We can change the font size and go for a higher contrast background if you like. As you can see, there are no page turning animations, which is just fine for me. Some people like to see that. There is actually an option to enable them, but for whatever reason it doesn't actually seem to do anything whether you turn that on or disable it. So let's test that right now. See, we have basic reading mode turned off. Let's turn that on. That's what's supposed to control the page animations. And as you can see, no animations. No big deal. So that's the Kindle app. Let's bring up Quick Office. This allows you to, of course, view Office-like documents, Word, PDF, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, though, you cannot edit these documents. You can only view. If you want to do any document editing, you have to rely on Google Docs or something like that and do it on the web. You can't do it on the tablet itself. And as you can see, this is taking its time to load. So let's leave that to its devices for a little while.